You take out America, you take out a huge chunk of the so-called New World Order.
And NATO, who spearheads NATO? America.
Yeah.
NATO, America's the one that's pulling the string behind
the UN
NATO.
troops. Well, look, where's the UN building located?
Yep.
NATO, the home base of NATO is the UN building down there on 60-something Street.
That's
right.
It's based in the. How come the UN is not in Britain?
And that's and then the UN, that's a modern day form of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And Russia is not part of the UN.
That's right.
For those of you with that breakdown of the 7 heads.
Iran as well.
Iran
is not a part of. They'll come in there and curse America out, like Majinadad from Iran. He came up in there and cursed you in your own country. He came up in there and cursed you out.
That's right.
And my man, the other dude that they all murdered,
Chavez.
Hugo Chavez, he came in and cursed you out. But they're not a part of the UN, man.
That's right. Go ahead, bro. You got
it. So it says, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore. The great whore is America, as the apostle said. And the judgment is what? The destruction of America, which we're approaching. We're right in the midst of that, which is ultimately going to be done by what? The nuclear missiles. That's the seventh vial, the seventh trumpet. That's the finish. That's the end of it, right? So it says, with whom, bear with me, Akim. It said, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Now, what's that going into? That's going into what? The philosophies. The Roman.
The wine of her fornication. Could Columbia University have something to do with that?
Yeah, they're pushing it. Hell yeah.
What are they pushing? They're pushing the wine of her fornication.
Yeah.
Some of Esau's wicked tactics in taking over nations are learned right here.
Yeah. And then ultimately now what is leading up to what? Which is the secret of the New World Order in America is homosexuality.
Well,
and in these colleges such as Columbia University,
Yale, and you got to mention
Yale, and these other, they are pushing homosexuality to the limit, man. Yeah. They're promoting it and pushing it. All these colleges, if you go and interview these so-called graduates or these students that are still here and ask them about, they all are happy about homosexuality. They want to embrace that so-called culture, lesbian and gay community activists. Because why? That's one of the end parts of the fornication, all right, or that wine, that philosophy, and they're pushing it throughout the whole earth, man. And that's why these other countries are trying to get America up out of their countries, because why? They're polluting the minds of the people of these other nations in their own countries. All right?
You better believe, brothers, these universities have something to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like earlier we broke down the word university, which uni means one, and versity means to turn into one. Yep. The so-called one world order.
Yeah. Well, these kids from the other nations come to these colleges.
Oh man, beautiful.
They come here. The other nations sitting there.
The same thing.
All over the world.
All over the world. You got Arabs, you got East Indians, you got Orientals. Yep. I'm using their so-called terms that you would understand.
Right.
But they all come here, man, to study in these colleges and get Africa, wherever, and then they get their information. Yep. And then they go back to their countries with it. So that's their wine.
Right, and nations. To help keep the so-called white man's world afloat.
Exactly. And that's why it's no coincidence that they try to change the curriculum, such as saying things like slavery was really just immigration.
Yeah, immigration. Yeah.
Because why? That's how they could dupe the world with that new speak, man. Because they know that all these other nations come here to these universities and they learn this thing for face value. So if they change the curriculum, that's why you think people think that Christopher Columbus thought that the world was flat? Because of these universities, man.
Better, man.
That's right.
Christopher Columbus.
So essentially what you're saying, brother, is the universities are set up to propagate lies, promote lies, and falsehood.
Yep.
Exactly.
And who controls it? The so-called white man, in particular the so-called Jew.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. The Rothschilds, man.
Yeah. You got any more on that?
Well, that's we always universities like Columbia and all the rest are breeding grounds for the Illuminati members.
Yep, that's it.
Because they know in the spirit who's who. But that's all them guys came through college. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, which Yale, which we did a video up there recently. You got we spoke right in front of the goddamn Skull and Bones. When you lay down in that, and when you come out, you become naked and become thrice born and all that type of bullshit.
All that BS.
If I could, put this in there. But everything like the scriptures say that there's nothing new under the sun, and all these colleges and universities, they go back to the library, the great library, going back to the time of the Greeks in Egypt. Was that the library at Alexandria, Egypt?
Yeah, Alexandria.
Now,
Egypt,
all scholars or great scholars of the time, they were sent by whoever was ruling, right, or their mentors. As a matter of fact, yeah, and their mentors to go study in those top places. So you always had top places of scholarship to go to learn about the different cultures of the nations,
to learn about lies.
To learn about lies, yep.
Essentially,
and to learn about their enemies, whoever they went to conquer. Because all right, case in point, Israel, right? Now to learn about the whole Israelite culture, right? These nations, especially the Greeks, they came, they conquered the majority of the known world, right? One main place they conquered was Jerusalem, right? We know that, and they had all the artifacts, they had the history and scrolls and everything recorded in that library, and they went in there to find out and to learn about us, our culture, and many other people's cultures.
Yeah, an example of that is Septuagint, which came out of that. Septuagint was the Greek form of the Hebrew Bible, the Greek form of the Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible.
Which that means it breaks up to 70, right?
70, yeah. 70.
Which pretty much what they did was they translated all those different books of them nations into the Greek language.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
at the behest of the Greeks, which the Ptolemies, Ptolemy the first, Ptolemy the second. Go ahead, Doug.
It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy. All right, and what's that woman again? That woman is America. All right, it said a scarlet-colored beast. Scarlet is what? Red.
Right.
All right, which and the beast, y'all know the beast is NATO. If y'all been paying attention, beast is NATO.
And they carried it.
And they right, which carry America. Yep. All right, because America is just a figurehead, right? And having 7 heads, which is the power structures of the so-called white man, which is Esau in the Bible, like the Apostle Rama was just naming them, the Spanish, the Roman, the French, the German major, German minor.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
In England, Great Britain, which out of that one came America. Right. It says in the 10 horns, which the European common markets, which you see them today. They're all in league, but now you're going to see, according to the prophecy, eventually they all going to turn against America.
Yeah.
That's the prophecy.
And that is found in the book of Obadiah. It's all the men of that confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have prevailed against thee.
Because right now you got France and you got certain other countries, even Russia is so-called with America as far as getting rid of these so-called, which we know that's all false flags and stage, but they're all saying, we got to come together for these terrorists, and they're doing drills in Holland and different countries, even here in the United States. But eventually these same countries, which are part of the European common markets and everything, such as France and these other countries, Britain, they're going to hate the whore, as it says in the scriptures. They're going to come against America, man. They're going to turn against America.
And in general, these countries, they hate America. Britain, France, the general consensus is they don't really like America, because America is a bossy place. It's they're nothing but a nation of braggarts, proud and just like their symbol, the eagle, which the eagle is a proud, filthy bird. Go ahead.
And the Greeks is one of the ones I left off when I mentioned the 7, as well as the Greeks were part of that 7. They were the beginning of the 7, actually, of Esau. All right, but now verse 4, it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Right, because when the Apostle John saw America in the vision, he actually saw a woman decked out like that, which represented, the so-called luxuriousness or the wealth of this country.
That's why everybody wants to come to this place.
Pretty much.
But then when they come here, they get a rotten taste in their mouth.
That's right.
Yeah, because they find out the truth.
They find out the real truth, that underneath the skirt of this woman is nothing but diseases, a rotten crotch. She got a rotten crotch.
in the back of
the crabs,
STDs.
STDs.
In the back of the apostle, if you go to all these universities I guarantee you the majority foreigners.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You got some jakes that's in there.
As we pan around,
but as you pan around, which I mean, a lot of them scattered already.
A few Edomites.
Because it's a little wet out here. Nothing but Moabites.
As we were walking in, young Moabite girls, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Coming here
and some Elam, East Indians.
Because like the apostles were saying, they believe that America is decked out in gold. Some of them in the islands, they heard stories of the streets being paved in gold.
Oh yeah.
As if this was the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of them islanders, they come up here trying to make a better life.
Piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Well, to back you up, they said that was said in the movie Dragon, the scene where Bruce Lee, before he came here, he said the streets are paved with gold, and then the other guy said, "Not a Chinaman's chance."
Yeah.
And he went into the history of how they used to lower the so-called Chinese with the dynamite, and if sometimes the dynamite went off with them being lowered down. This is when back in San Francisco with the mines and stuff.
Yeah, because they didn't pull them up fast enough. That's why I said Chinaman's chance in hell.
Right.
That's why they were pulling them up. The fucking dynamite would go off, and they were blowing them up.
I ain't know
be a dead Moabite at the end of the fucking rope.
Yeah, blown up to bits.
Yeah.
But that's the so-called white man.
That's Esau.
Yeah,
but then Lee found out and he flipped out. He flipped out on his woman.
And if I find the clip, in post-production, we'll put it.
Oh yeah, you gotta put that up.
Yeah, so you'll see the clip.
You gotta put the clip when he woke up and figured it out.
Oh yeah, well later he came.
When he cursed his woman out.
Yeah,
with the white man. Yes, with the white man. Shine my shoes.
Yeah. No shirty, no tiki, no. Yeah. Exactly.
I got a scripture.
Shalom.
You got more?
I got more.
Yeah.
It says, and a woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
And that's what these nations are drinking.
That's right. Which is the philosophies of America, man.
That's it.
All right, America's the one that now I'm gonna go straight to the gusto as far as his homosexuality.
Oh man.
All right, and you got one, a country rapper, whatever he is, Louisiana nigga. He made a comment, and they went ham on him, man. I think his name is Boosie or whatever. He said, look, since he got out of jail, he said all he's seen is just this faggot cartoon. Everything is. He said, why everything I have a faggot innuendo to it? And that's the truth. You watch sports, the commercials, Old Spice commercials. You got some stupid ass niggas twerking their chest muscles and shit, slapping deodorant under each other. That's faggot. Why are you showing that? That's nakedness. That's rudeness. But that's against the scriptures. But that's what it meant.
But that's what it pushes.
That's what they push it. America pushes that, and these other nations, what they take it in. And then now you start having fucking Arabic, motherfuckers acting like faggots and shit like that. You know what? They mimicking what they learned over in America.
Bruce Jenner. That was Mr. America, man. That was fucking Mr. America. I know, because when I grew up, I remember the late 70s, even going into the early 80s, that was Mr. America.
Yeah. He won the decathlon.
Yeah. I looked up as a little kid, you don't know no better. I thought he was like a superhero. Your mother, Bruce Jenner, get the cereal with Bruce Jenner. He's running. They even had dolls of him and shit.
Yeah, he was on the Wheaties box.
That made you want to eat Wheaties.
Yeah. He no doubt. He was billed as America's manly man.
Yeah, that was Mr. America. But then this dude came out and said, I'm going to be a woman and shit, and did it. And then, that's America's sweetheart, man.
Yeah, he got away with murder. He killed somebody, and then he turned into a transvestite and got off. They cleared him of that murder that he committed murder.
I didn't know about
that. In a car accident, he drove into a bitch. He said the paparazzi made him drive into the bitch or whatever the case, but he straight up, they proved that he was the one that did it. He crashed, made the bitch, she died or whatever the case is, but then they had it in trial, then he went through the transformation, turning himself into Caitlyn Jenner. Yep. And then he got vindicated of all that.
That makes sense.
But Mike Pitt, they crucified him for owning dogs. And he wasn't even the one fighting it. He had the property where they was fighting it at. This dude straight up killed the person, and he got off because he turned into a bitch.
And then you got all these different nations where the women, were really subjected to their men. They wear the long dress and they would cover their face, cover their hair, all of that.
They had the covering, right? Because in Britain, I didn't mean to cut you off, but in Britain they're trying to stop them in Britain because in Europe there's been a big influx of so-called Muslim immigrants. So there's the hardcore Muslims Muslim women. They've been wearing they call it the burqa, where it covers their. You can't. The only thing you can see is their eyes. Everything else is covered. So they're saying, well, look, this is by using the burqa. The terrorists they can come in and use this and cloak themselves as being, and then blow up. They're using that to keep them from keeping their customs.
But you know what? Even beyond that, that's part of it. But also the women no longer wear the long dresses. They wear pants now. They wear tight spandex, showing their titties and breasts. So they're pretty much drinking of that cup of America.
Right. So now it says, and upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now, when you go into that in the Hebrew, the numerical value of the characters of those words in the Hebrew forms out to 666.
That's right.
All right. So it's showing you that goes into the number of the mark of the beast, which is symbolic to the number they put on the IBN or the what do you call it, the barcodes. All the barcodes they have, and it's not a coincidence. All right. They have a whole bunch of numbers, but the number in the front is a 6, the one in the middle is a 6, and the one at the end is a 6, which is 666, which that's a message to the insider. See, a lot of you guys, it's going to come a time, you scoff at it, but it's going to come a time where it's going to be made plain. That's why a lot of you guys, and I ain't going to say no names, but you teaching what we teaching on the low. You're teaching about the concentration camps and the mark of the beast being the microchip on the low. Right. All right, but the Lord see all you clowns, man. Low life clowns, man.
Well, because the thing is, you're not sincere. This is all a game to you. Like this nigga Lahab came back saying, "Think this is a game? You think it's a game, man?"
Yeah.
Look, you know what? What we talking about is about to happen.
Deadly serious.
This is for real. We for real about this shit. You guys can scoff and talk shit all you want. Yo, man, just last night it was that Colorado thing. Prior to that, you had the France thing. Shit is every fucking
Chicago
day
is riots.
on the news. Chicago, they shooting somebody getting shot every day now on the news.
Hey, and like Apostle Tar said, and these other apostles said, that's the only reason why that wicked, evil ass nigga Lahab is trying to come back on the scene. And you trying to capitalize. You ain't finished. Look, man, all that wickedness that you did. All right. I mean, I met you towards the latter end. I seen you or whatever the case is. But the Lord blessed me to have these brothers. They opened our eyes to the shit that you was doing back then, the real deal, the sack days. All right, taking over brothers, taking brothers' women from them and giving them to other people. All that wickedness, Lahab. The Lord, that's the only reason why your old wicked ass is alive, man. All you other wicked ass niggas as well. The Lord got you preserved for judgment, man. That's the only reason why you're still around, man. But we at the end right now. The Most High is judging America, man. All right, you guys, y'all lost the faith. Y'all sold out. Y'all went back in the world, man.
And it is about faith.
And it is about faith, brothers.
It's about faith. You know, you got the doctrine of you got what's your father like and what's your well, I got a question for you. What if a guy comes into the knowledge and he doesn't know his father? What if an orphan comes into the knowledge? He doesn't know his father or his mother, but he's inflamed by the knowledge. He wants to learn. He wants to be a servant of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. What do you say to him?
That's right.
Do you say that you're not, you can't come into the truth? Do you quench his spirit? Isn't that proof to you that this thing of ours is based upon faith?
That's spiritual. It's spiritual.
It's spiritual, man.
It's a faith thing.
It's not a carnal thing.
And I can tell you something. We've had brothers in the truth over the years that were orphans. Look, man, a lot of brothers in this thing, especially Jake. When I say Jake, I talk about all the tribes. A lot of brothers don't know who their fucking daddy is, man. Or haven't met their daddy.
Well, it's written, be a father to the fatherless.
That's
and then the fatherless just don't mean... there's a spiritual meaning to it and a carnal meaning to it.
Right.
Carnal mean you don't straight up have a father. You know, you don't straight up have a father. But then if you don't have Yahweh Bashem Yahushai as your spiritual father, you're fatherless. So 2/3 of Israel right now, they're fatherless because they don't have Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in their life.
That's right.
They don't have the truth.
That's right. Look,
and
I'm gonna tell you. Let me read this scripture. Like Apostle Tahar, he's been a father to me, man.
Me too.
All of us standing.
Right. And is it not written, honor thy father?
That's right.
That's why we're
fucking literally, man. I mean spiritually.
Yeah.
And I mean on a physical level.
Telling you straight up lessons that your father
tell you. Brothers, helping me monetarily, teaching me how to be a man. Now I knew my physical father, but you know what? He wasn't always around.
And another thing, they didn't know the truth.
They didn't know the truth.
So in reality, our real fathers were the ones who brought us back to the truth.
Our elders.
Good.
So that's where Elder
That's right.
comes in.
Yeah.
And that's why we show nothing but